Thank God it's Friday on Your View. Welcome to the show. It's also International Girl Child Day. So happy International Girl Child Day to all of us on the show and every girl out there. Even if you are 80, you are still a girl. So happy International Girl Child Day to every one of us. Obiajulu, how are you girling up today?
Happy International Girl Day to every girl out there, every girl who has a vision, every girl who is still trying to find their vision. Some people are still going to find their vision till they are 80. So they never even find it till they leave here. But happy International Girl Day. Girls are powerful. Girls are awesome. Girls are amazing. Girls bring color to the world. And, you know, we're happy. I'm happy to be a woman. If I'm coming back again, I'm going to be a woman. Yes, yeah. So that's it. I'm good.
Seems like you got the ideal girl color vibe. My kids in school today, when I go to school, I just saw all the girls wearing pink, yellow, very bright. Like,
soft colors.
They are allowed to like dress down, and they really took it seriously. So
Amaka looks like an Indian today.
yes, so
Oh, see, they've been flattering me. I really need all the good vibes. Anyways, happy Girl Child Day to all the girls, all the baby girls out there. I'm a baby girl.
Yes, so for life.
I've been, always will be. Yes, you know, and what I keep saying is, you know, live your life to the fullest. There's nothing you cannot do. If you can think it, you can dream it, you can be it, you can do it. Yeah. Yes. And anyways, to my own banter, being an entrepreneur in Nigeria is so tough. You know, it's been crazy. Yesterday, I wept like a child. Like I broke down. I didn't even know I had that kind of cry inside of me. I cried. I groaned. Yeah, so most of the things, the glass cases that we brought into the country. So we didn't know that when we packed them, like these are boxes and boxes and cartons of goods.
What happened?
We didn't know that the wind blew off the damper, and then rain fell off and everything destroyed. When I saw the whole thing yesterday, I broke down. I wept.
Oh, God.
Then after I just said, well, whatever money can solve, it's, you know, I won't die.
I encouraged yourself.
Yes, I encouraged myself.
In the Lord.
Yeah. So, but, you know, that's what it is. How are you, Ramat?
I'm fine. It has happened to me before. There was a time my car broke down. I was fixing. You know, the mechanic would tell me, bring this amount of money, I'll bring that amount of money, like that. At some point, I was like, thank God, it's even car that I'm fixing. What if it was my kidney or liver or something? Oh, thank God, let me just be putting the money just to make me feel good about it. And so, yeah, it happened.
Well, you have girls, so how are you celebrating? Are you
I'm actually going to their school. Today is their speech and prize.
Oh, nice.
After here, I'll just go down there, and I'll be missing them too, so let me just go and see them.
Amazing.
Sent me a long list. This chicken, fried chicken, that pizza, everything. So I have to get everything from here before I get there.
Nice.
The life of a
It's going
mother.
to be a wonderful weekend. Movies, I know. That's how we're going to be tired for the weekend.
Yesterday, I got some gbas. As you know, when you hear some figure and you start having like bang on one side of your head.
Yeah.
I was like, I just sat down. And I was looking at the man's face and I said, I have prayed. I did not do this meeting last week because I wanted to pray ahead of the meeting. I was able to get about 30 to 40% discount on the amount they were asking me, but it was still a whole lot of money. So it was just a case of stop sales, we have to change price. We finished paying for something and they said, because somebody wants to do the road to that place, the value of the place has gone up. We had negotiated. This is not a case of, but I'm having to almost buy the land
all over again.
Like I'm paying like 80% of the land value, and I've sold almost 50% of it. So it was a blow. And I just sat down and told myself, like, what are we going to do now? How do we re-strategize and all of that? So when you said doing business in Nigeria is not for the faint-hearted, it is not for the faint-hearted. And some people are just deliberately wicked, you know. There are some people that they are out to scam, you know. And so for everyone that is putting jobs and employment for Nigerians, please keep up the good work. God is your strength. For everyone that is groaning on the 1,000 plus petrol price, don't worry, we'll also face God as our strength. We'll take a break now. When we return, we'll visit the stories making headlines. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be...
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. So we're starting our front page review today with The Nation, as usual. Major headline, Court for Bara must take budget 2024 to Amwile-led House. Court of Appeal dismisses governor's case. Rivers head for Supreme Court. Marketers sell petrol at different prices in deregulated market. How to make product accessible, affordable by TUC. In other news, you'd see every child out of school is a danger to society, says Shetima. At 90, I'm prepared for death, says Shoyinka. Okay. 128 CNG conversion centers activated across states. Lagos Red Rail Line begins commercial operations by Tuesday. Makinde, Tunji Ojo, Oke are in Ayedatiwa's campaign council. And banks customers lament disruption. 65 illegal refineries destroyed in 1 week. Tap into available opportunities. First Lady advice Nigerians. And what story are we going to be starting with? Okay,
I could start with the Lagos Red Line.
Yeah, that's good news.
Yeah, so full passenger operations on the Lagos Rail Mass Transit Red Line will begin October 15th, according to the story. The Managing Director of Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority, Lamata, Abimbola Akinajo, had said this. And Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu said they will lead these executive council members and other dignitaries on the passenger operations launch ride with commuters on the first fee-paying passenger trip. The Akinajo, an engineer, also said the train services will commence daily from Agbado at 6 a.m. Consequently, the schedule of the train service has been adjusted with passengers' movement from 6 a.m. from Agbado. Now, before now, they said trips on the non-fee-paying trial run on the corridor had started from Oyingbo at 9 a.m., with the first train getting to Agbado at about 7 a.m. The adjusted timetable foreshadows upcoming commercial passenger operations beginning on Tuesday. So Mrs. Akinajo said the new timetable was the outcome of the data gathered through the series of tests that they were running, including those for the non-fee-paying passengers. So I remember when they did the other rail line that we had to, take it so we can check the timing. It takes you from one point to the other. These were some of the tests that they ran. And she said the new timetable gave priority to the origin trips from Agbado, where riders lived and worked in Ikeja, Oshodi, and Lagos Island. So for passengers whose journey terminates on Lagos Island, buses will be available at Oyingbo bus terminal for them to complete their journey. And this is a good one. Congratulations to Lagos State. Yes, this is really good.
Open up that area a lot more.
Yes, for business.
The traffic on the roads.
On the roads, yeah. Amazing.
Okay. So, yeah, last week and early this week has been very disruptive for business owners, for people in general, because, bank customers are experiencing service disruptions nationwide.
As in,
I'm sure we
update.
It's been crazy. So they said that they continue to upgrade the applications for improved service quality and delivery. While the exercise continues, many customers have voiced their concerns, their frustrations, and then the banks are saying that this is taking them a bit of a time, that the upgrade process remains complex and time-consuming, because it involves the migration of customer data and integration with various channels, such as the automated teller machines, the unstructured supplementary service data, their internet banking systems. And then, Dr. Joe Abba used his example where he was saying that, it's bad enough that fuel prices have gone up, and then that the queues are now longer. Then worse off is the fact that you can't even access your bank apps, or POS machines, to even pay for the fuel. It's frustrating. Please, I want to advise people this weekend. Nobody should annoy anybody. Nigerians are angry people, please. Let's hope that by next week, early next week or next week, that, the banking system picks up. If not, it's crazy. We can't deal.
Yeah. Okay, so concerning the fuel, at least the CNG alternative, they said, I have the story of the CNG. They said not less than 125 compressed natural gas conversion centers have been activated across the country. They said this surpasses the 100 centers earlier anticipated. They said the Chief Executive Officer, Michael, said this time last year, the country had just 7 conversion centers, and we promised to deliver at least 100 of them this year. But as of now, they have 125. And he said this CNG market has created jobs for more than 20,000 people. However, one of the constraints, he said, availability of gas has been a constraint at the conversion center since gas is required for top-up in order to calibrate. So these are the issues. There's still.
And 125 is not enough, definitely.
They'll have more with time.
Yes, I want to take the story of Rivers State. So Rivers, of course, has been filled with a lot of drama. While I personally have some opinion, let me take what the paper is saying. The court has dismissed the governor's bid to to accept the budget that has been sent to a 4-man assembly. That out of 32 men in the assembly, you only approved, you took your 2024 budget and presented it to the people that are, or just 4. So you don't have consensus. So the appeal court has said, the appeal court was led by Justice Joseph Oyewole, and he said that Fubara, that is similar from the governor, has gone against what is right, and he said they should present the budget to the Anwoli-led House. So they've dismissed the governor's case, and the governor has said he's going to the Supreme Court. Whichever way, I feel like we know what is right from what is wrong. As long as whatever we're doing in Rivers State, I want all parties should follow the rule of law, because we also don't want to, in protecting democracy, destroy democracy at the same time by not obeying the rule of law. All right, moving on to the Punch major headline, petrol price hike. Ipman tackles NNPCL, threatens to stop operations. Marketers accuse NNPCL of inflating Dangote petrol prices. Sanwo-Olu inspects ongoing 7-story new Mercy Children Hospital. Data voice services fetch MTN Airtel 3.6 trillion naira. Lebanese jailed 14 years for sexually exploiting 2 teenage girls. Why military hasn't gone after Asari Dokubo? That's from the department, the military headquarters. 7 banks pay 392 billion naira in taxes. Fubara heads to Supreme Court as appeal court affirms pro-Wike lawmakers. Oyedepo's 2-step deputy step down next week. And of course, you cannot miss the picture of the New Mercy Hospital. It is something really, really good. Wow. Especially because my dad was born in the old Mercy Hospital in Lagos. And so I'm excited about what the governor is doing in now increasing the capacity, because I've been in the hospital with my kids when they were really small, and lack of incubator had them wrap a child, a very premature child, wrap the child to the general hospital in Lassuth. Then they had to now say, you have to go to Mercy. They had to call, and they said they only had 2. So having more facilities to take care of children is extremely important. So I'm happy about the
It is. Yeah. Do we take a story before we go?
Break? Yes.
Okay, let me take the major headline. So the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria has threatened to stop operations nationwide following the high cost of premium motor spirits, popularly known as petrol, sold to Ipman members by the NNPCL. So Ipman revealed on Thursday that the cost of petrol from the Dangote Petroleum Refinery to NNPC was about 898 naira per litre. Wow. But they noted that NNPC was selling the same product to independent marketers as 1,010 naira per litre in Lagos. The association, which controls over 70% of filling stations nationwide, kicked against this and threatened to down tools, as they also demanded a refund from NNPC for the earlier petrol supply payments made by their members. So this development, they are saying, may further worsen the petrol scarcity and queues in many parts of the country. Meanwhile, we also gathered on Thursday that members of the Major Energies Marketers Association of Nigeria were still loading subsidized petrol from Dangote Refinery based on earlier arrangements with NNPC. So it seems like it's unfair. We are buying higher. What I thought initially was going to be the plan was that they were opening the doors to the independent marketers, so you can source directly from Dangote Refinery, not getting the NNPC gets from Dangote and then sells, and then you go back to the consumers. And of course, if you buy at 1,000, exactly 10 naira, you are definitely going to add money to sell. And Nigerians, the consumers, are the ones that are bearing the brunt of all these things. Can they decide on what they want to do?
Everybody comes to the media to fight their case.
Yeah.
Because they're not talking to one another, obviously. We'll take a break. When we return, we'll continue with the front page review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing the front page review, talking about stories within the Punch.
So I have the Okay, I have the story of the data voice services of Airtel. They said 3.6 trillion.
Money.
Yes, they said MTN Nigeria Communication PLC and Airtel Nigeria collectively generated about 3.67 trillion from their data and voice services in the first half of 2024. An analysis of their financial results showed. They said data services, they made 726.6 billion, reflecting a 55% increase from 469.7 billion, while their voice services also grew with revenue reaching 541.3 billion from 474.1 billion year on. They said the operator, which has been serving Nigerians' vast population for 2 decades, attributed this growth to enhancement in service quality and the robust demand for data services. Have they really increased their services like that?
My 1 naira.
They said Airtel generated 2.4 trillion, while MTN raked in 1.27 trillion, resulting in a total revenue of approximately 3.67 trillion from data and voice services over the 6 months. So,
okay. I have the sad story, but justice has been meted out. Federal High Court sitting in Kano on Thursday sentenced a 67-year-old Lebanese, Zul Aka, to 14 years imprisonment for sexually exploiting 2 teenage girls. National Agency of the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, Kano State Command, arraigned Aka with 2 counts of trafficking and sexual exploitation. He was said to, this offense happened at 10:30 p.m. at his house on September the 4th, 2024, at Unity Road in Kano, where he procured a 14-year-old and a 15-year-old girl at the Civic Center Road near Suya Sports, took them to his house and sexually exploited them. He also released the video while he was sexually exploiting the girls on social media. That's the height, a 67-year-old man. Because they said a video of the defendants having sexual misconduct with the victims was posted on social media. Agadina Wofe. The prosecution presented 4 exhibits, including the confessional statement of defendants and victims' testimony to the court to prove its case. Although the defendant pleaded guilty to the charge, yes, he contravened the offense of the provisions of Section 16(1) of Trafficking in the Persons Prohibition Enforcement and Administration Act 2015 and is punishable under Section 26(1) of TIP Act 2015. This one thing, then he was also told, aside from the 14 years imprisonment, he was also told to pay 2 million naira additional fine for the offense.
Yeah, so I saw the story about Bishop Oyedepo and the fact that Winners has 2 pastors stepping down. And the reason I'm taking this story is because we hear a lot about churches and that there's no corporate accountability within the church. So the Board of Trustees had made a rule about age limit for when pastors have to retire. And they created a tenure that if you get to this position, you can serve for 2 tenures of 7 years, subject to Board of Trustees approval. The only person accepted for this role is the founder, Bishop Oyedepo. So people know Bishop Baremo and Bishop Abioye. These are people that have been in the church for over 40 years. They've served in the church and they are getting to step down next week. I know they will be honored, and I just want to acknowledge, because we're in a world where everybody just wants to step out and do their own thing. But to see people that have been able to stay in an organization, build the organization for over 40 years, they deserve all the celebration. Moving on to Daily Sun, major headline. Wike's men floor Fubara. Oh God, sensationalization. Can we just focus on the news? NNPCL fuel marketers fight over 15 billion naira debts. Nigerian Airlines in their financial crisis. That's from the NCAA. No soldier, civilian was attacked or killed in Lagos or Imo. That's from the Army. PDP BOT demands NEC meeting over river crisis. Others. And federal government lacks knowledge to fix economy, says Atiku. Anxiety as health workers threaten showdown. Who has what story?
So I have federal government, according to Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, former vice president of the nation, saying that the federal government and the president Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration lacks the knowledge to fix the economy. He said that because of the incessant hike in the increase of pump petrol price, this is showing that he cannot handle the economy. So he says Tinubu's disorganized and insincere approach to managing the country's fuel subsidy, which he claims has plunged the nation into an economic crisis, will not stop. He posted on X and lamented the strangulating impact of the economy and the policies on Nigerians, particularly highlighting the soaring inflation that has severely affected the material and well-being of the citizens. So he says, and I quote, "The haphazard and disingenuous approach of the current administration to fuel subsidy management has been the reason we are in this current economic crisis in the country. As things stand, there will be no let-up in the escalating inflation rate, which is drowning the material well-being of Nigerians," right? Meanwhile, National Association of Nigerian Students, as NANS, are urging the federal government to channel their energy towards development and massive investments in the CNG we've been talking about as an alternative to petrol. The president of the Senate at NANS headquarters, Akinteye Babatunde, made a statement and expressed concerns over the persistent fuel challenges we've been having. And according to him, he said the CNG represents a more sustainable, affordable, and cleaner energy source that could reduce the heavy reliance on petrol, which has negatively impacted the economy. So we are calling on the government to take bold steps in establishing CNG refilling stations across every local government so that people can have access to it. This is what we are talking about. Exactly. That's also, we also need what they call testing time. You know, we need to see the people who are using it, see how it's working, see the challenges it's going to come up with. If all of us inside the CNG, and then I walk out the fuel. So we need to take it.
This is what you're speaking about. Because it's only you and
one day. Yes, exactly. One step at a time. So let's not rush. Let's take it gradually. We're already having CNG refilling stations. It's not a lot yet. More will come, but let's give it time.
All right, Amaka.
So the Nigerian army has debunked reports circulating in some online media outlets claiming that troops were attacked and several soldiers and civilians were killed at a council area secretariat in Imo State. The acting deputy director of Army Public Relations, 82 Div Lieutenant Colonel Jonah, in a statement issued in Enugu, described the online reports as having no iota of truth and fiction of imagination of sympathizers of dissident groups. Yeah, because as you can recall, sometime October 3rd, 2023, local government headquarters of Isialambano, built and maintained with public funds, was set ablaze and destroyed by IPOB and ESN criminals, right? And then during that attack, shots were fired, and then the army came to help people. And because of the intervention of the army, they didn't, the people, like the criminals and the IPOB people, couldn't gain entrance into the secretariat. And then they were able to curtail a whole lot of things. But nobody died. And then they are wondering, like, why are they coming up with all these things now? That this is a publication, that this publication is a fiction playing out in the minds of IPOB and their sympathizers who wish to dampen the confidence of Imolites and, by extension, the people of the Southeast region. And so they're going to do everything in their power to, curtail and forestall this conversation from continuing.
Yeah, okay, so I have the story of the health workers who are threatening to go on strike. They said the Joint Health Sector Unions, Assembly of Healthcare Professional Association, have issued a 15-day ultimatum to the federal government to address their demands or risk another nationwide strike on October 25th. They said their demands, the unions are demanding the immediate payment of salary arrears, restoration of funding of regulatory agencies, and the reconstitution of governing bodies for federal health institutions are the things they are demanding for. And they are also saying that they have directed all their branches and, to call congresses across health facilities in the country to, for immediate mobilizations of members towards impending industrial action. Okay. So that they are pleading that the government should attend to their demands.
Please, government should attend to the demand of the doctors. We cannot afford to have health crisis.
On top of everything that is
there's another crisis, though. The aviation sector is in major crisis, and there was a particular event that took place on Wednesday. It's the Southwest Regional Air Transport Summit in Lagos, and it was meant to address the challenges of the aviation sector. If you are interested in the aviation sector, then you should just get Daily Sun and read the entire story. But one thing I want to highlight is many of us complain of local flights. I have some trips I want to take locally, and when I saw the ticket, I was asking myself again, do you really want to travel this travel, or should you just stay in your father's house, in your husband's house? But the reason they have to pay this much is because Nigeria doesn't have any maintenance facility for any of our domestic, any plane cannot be maintained in Nigeria. Wow. For every plane we have, it is costing like 600,000 minimum to run a maintenance outside the country.
$1,000.
$1,000. $600,000 minimum. And there is hike in the cost of aviation fuel. Many of our domestic airlines, the local airports are not well maintained. So there are many issues wrong with the aviation sector, and many people have come to talk and they preferred solutions. So I'm happy that the minister was there. I would like implementation of these things, because a country without a thriving aviation sector, both domestically, beyond the international market, domestic, for us to be able to make business activities across different states and increase efficiency, because the roads are not so good either. So flying is extremely important. So we are wishing them all the best, but implementation of all these good ideas that have been shared is important. Moving on to Vanguard, major headline. Oh, there's a beautiful picture in Vanguard of the Olu of Warri and his beautiful wife. So I have a soft spot for them. But the major headline is about petrol hike. We've discussed it over and over again. Save judiciary from collapse. Needs total overhauling. Clark writes CJN. Death penalty. 3,650 inmates on death row nationwide. And in other news, Rivers crisis, we've taken that. NIN SIM linkage of all phone numbers completed. That's from NCC. Exciting. Deny allocations to local government where selections were done. Senate tells federal government. And kidnap, police rescue 6 sports journalists. So we need to take this very fast because our last paper.
Yes. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So the 11-member media crew traveling from Lagos to Akwa Ibom State were ambushed in early hours of yesterday and were kidnapped. Although 6 sports journalists, 6 of them have been rescued by the Joint Security Forces in Anambra State. They are really working so hard to release the rest of them. It's so sad. Yes, by God's grace. Yes, over to you.
Yeah, so the Senate has asked the federal government to deny allocations to local government areas where selections were done before the appointment of caretaker committees. The Senate had condemned what they described as blatant disregard for democratic principles in the local government elections of October 5, conducted by the Benue State Independent Electoral Commission. The Senate also urged Benue State Independent Electoral Commission to, as a matter of urgency, conduct polls in those areas where elections did not hold and allow the people to choose the representatives of their choice. It's also urging the relevant government institutions to nullify the sham elections and do the right thing in line with laid down principles of law and order. So the resolutions of the Senate yesterday was sequel to a motion entitled The Sham Local Government Elections of October 5, Abuse of the Constitution and Need for Intervention by the Senate. It was sponsored by Senate Minority Leader Senator Abba Moro of PDP South. And they went ahead to talk about it, saying that this did not follow the rule of law. They said, there was something they said, in most places, it seemed like they were having local chiefs, you know, putting the crown on the person who they have chosen. More like you come to a palace and then they say, okay, you are the local government chairman of this one, you are the local government. It was not done constitutionally, and that has to be dissolved and, you know, go back to the right.
All right, that's all we can take on front page review for today. Sadly, Abuja yesterday, the world commemoration of World Day Against Death Penalty. Some people have said that we should abolish death penalty in Nigeria, that we have the highest number of people that have been sentenced to death in Nigeria in the sub-Saharan African space. Maybe because of our
but we have not killed them.
We have not killed anybody. No, let me not use that word. Nobody has been executed since 2014. So they are saying, don't just abolish it and find other ways of punishment. Out of the 3,000 people, there are 11 women that are on death row. And so how do we deal with this? Sometimes we see some crime and we feel like it is death that these people deserve. But who are we to judge? Let's leave it to the justice system and the legal and the lawmakers to solve that problem. That's what we can take on front page review for today. We'll take a quick break and return. We have a hot topic. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So today is the International Day of the Girl Child. And the theme for this year is Girls, Vision for the Future. In celebrating the International Girl Child Day, we'll be discussing the meaning and the purpose of this important day, also focusing on the significance of empowering the girl child, ways that we can safeguard their future, and in-depth exploration of the theme for this year. Additionally, we have a 1-minute video from one of the popular schools in Lagos where several girls shared powerful messages about today. So we'll call for the video right now and then we'll continue the conversation.
Good day, audience. My friends and I are going to be talking to you about International Day of the Girl Child. The International Day of the Girl Child is observed annually on October 11th. It was established by the United Nations in 2011 to raise awareness of the challenges faced by girls around the world. This year's theme is Girls' Vision for the Future. While many girls have powerful visions for the future, it's up to all of us, governments, communities, and individuals, to support them in making these dreams a reality. For many girls, the vision for the future includes a world free from violence and conflict. They dream of communities where everyone, regardless of their gender, race, or background, is treated with dignity and respect. When girls think about the future, they see themselves as innovators and leaders who will solve some of the world's most pressing problems. That is why, for us at Corona Schools, we raised the total child from cradle to world-renowned leaders, and that is what has kept us going for the past 7 decades. Happy International Day of the Girl!
All right, so that was really eloquently done by the children of Corona. But you can join the conversation and talk about your own opinion of how we're commemorating the Girl Child Day by joining us on 081 0764 1679, or you can call us on 090 241 63440. Tweet to us on X, so used to Twitter, on X and hashtag YourViewTV, so you can read your tweets. And then we're also streaming live on YouTube right now, so we can read your comments there as well. I do not have a girl child. Yes, I only celebrate the Ball Child Day, which is going to be next year. But
have they done the one for this year?
No, they've done for the one for this year. It's earlier in the year. But celebrating the girl child, having that, watching that video, seeing those girls talk about what they want to see in future, what they want the leaders and the government to do is give us a world free of conflict and violence. Is it wishful thinking? Is it too much to ask for? What's your opinion, Obiajulu?
Yeah, so I think we are evolving to a space where we're beginning to hear our children, our girls, because I know that growing up, girls were mostly suppressed. The needs of the girl child was placed at the back burner. The families were mostly just, concerned that you don't get pregnant. But aside from that, sometimes you may have to step down so that your brother would be the one to go to school. You may have to step down so that your brother would be the one to go abroad. You may have to step down so that your brother would be the one that would be helped in business, because the mentality of the men at the time was that the girl will be married out. You're just good for marriage. And so why do I want to invest? You're not going to carry on my lineage. Why do I want to invest in you? But as we progressed and as the world, we started, it's a global village. You are seeing from this place, you are seeing from that place. We started realizing that it was important to educate the girl child, because the girl child shows a lot more promise than even the male children. So for the male, it's good that they have all the basics that they need to be able to be strong and have a home and all of that. But if you educate one girl child, because everybody that comes through that woman or that girl will be educated to the level that you have educated that girl child. So you see, we bring to life other human beings, and it's the level that we know that we impact on the children. I see some women who sit back and regret that they didn't have an opportunity to go to school because either their father asked them to step down for their sibling, who's a boy, or that the money was not enough, so they had to choose. Let's take this one, you go and sell something and all of that. But it's changing now. Even concerns of the workplace, where before the men would be paid higher than the women, we're having conversations, those things are changing. So the world is largely changing. We're appreciating women more now for the color that they bring to life. A woman has an ability to see beyond what a man can see. Men are very straightforward, right? But if you put a woman in a space with that intuition that they have, they just sort of add color to it. I am raising 3 kids. I've got 2 beautiful girls and 1 boy, and my girls are super amazing. They give me joy. They get me. I don't have to give an instruction 2 times. They understand it. And even if they don't, they obey. Then they come back later to say, Mommy, but why did you ask me to do this? And then we have it. Like, it's so sweet having my girls understand me without me having to,
This is me not channeling jealousy.
No, don't channel jealousy. Don't channel jealousy. The boys still have the role that they play, but today is Girls' Day, so let's just celebrate the girls. And the world is really being more appreciated. And also in the energetics, this is the era of the feminine. The feminine is rising into its power. The feminine was suppressed for a very long time with religion, patriarchy, blah, 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 blah. But right now, the feminine is rising. Everything is feminine right now. Even to do business and flourish without stress, you have to be in your feminine energy. So it's our time as girls, baby. Let's shine.
I'll come back to you on the feminine, the age of the women, and how sometimes people can be a bit scared that empowering women can be worrisome. But what's your your opinion about the video of those beautiful children, very eloquent children, and what would you say about the girl child celebration?
Yeah, so I applaud the kids. You know, when I saw that, you know, it's so amazing how we're building and we're training confident women, confident girls. Like, it's so refreshing. You know, for a long time, women were suppressed. We're still working on it, where women are able to have certain discussions, share certain opinions. So it's really amazing when I see young kids who know who they are. Do you understand? Who can speak up, who can voice their expression, everything. You know, it gladdens my heart. Yes. So, and I love the fact that Africa and the world in general are recognizing the potentials of women and trying to give the woman the stage, a platform to express herself emotionally, mentally, because see, women, we've gone through a lot in history, mentally.
True.
And you know, women don't just raise girls, they also raise boys. And a mentally depressed or deprived woman cannot do so much, cannot give so much if she doesn't have so much of herself. So I love the fact that women are being given a stage, a platform to express themselves, to be vulnerable without feeling broken.
Yeah.
Do you understand? I love that, you know, that is happening. And then politically,
Women are occupying space.
see what's happening in Mexico. If a woman can be president in Mexico, then anything and everything is possible.
Yeah.
That gives me hope. So I love that. I'm a girl child.
Yes,
and I know my mom is watching this. And Mama, I hope I've been an amazing girl child to you. So, yeah.
So, Amaka, I disagree. I don't think in Nigeria a woman can be president. So, don't come.
It doesn't look that way for now.
Because these men, I don't think they will allow a woman to.
We're going to fight.
Yeah, they're going
Not
to
self
they won't
allow
allow it.
They're getting there.
Yeah, so BC has said a lot. Like, I will just come from the perspective of my own daughters. I can see the way they are growing. They are becoming confident kids. They can express themselves. Sometimes when you even force them to do some things, they will come out and tell you, Mommy, no, this is what I want to do. And then we're like, okay, I've listened to you. We'll talk about it again, and we'll talk about it some other time and all. So growing up and, you know, making them understand their body and everything is what's very important. So on a day like this, most times, when they are at home, I usually talk to them about something like this time around. I was saying that if we're together, I'm going to talk more on hygiene. I used to remember those days. There was a time they were saying they were going to give out sanitary pads to girls and all, because it's not their fault that they're going to start periods and all. So I was going to talk to them about hygiene, how to take care of yourself, especially when you're on your period, and then generally how to, you know, how to look good, how to dress yourself up, and how to be clean and all. And those kids said wonderful things, wonderful things. And I pray that we continue to raise wonderful, beautiful children. And also, I was going to even also talk about relationships, because that's now my kids are getting to a stage where they want to start having crush, relationships, and all of that. So those are things that
are conversations to be had.
Meeting and all of that.
Okay, for me, talking about the girl child, like BC said, we have actually grown. I remember, and that's why I always say adults should be careful of what they say around children. I'm an only child for both parents, and I remember having family members, you know, say that, like, how I wish they had a boy to carry on the family name. And they're saying, and I can hear what they're saying. And they're looking at, they talk about my parents like they're pitying that my parents have only one child and is a girl. and those kind of conversations, it can be depressing because it is not their fault that they have a girl. And having only one girl does not mean the end of the world. Meanwhile, many of you have now seen that it is not by having a boy or having boys, because my parents are living the life that some parents that have 6 children and all boys are not living. Yes, I prioritize them, I take care of them. And while some people can hear that and make themselves bad, I remember the conversations around the fact that the only child they have is a girl. What would she amount to? And I use that to fuel myself to say, I'm going to give my parents the best quality of life possible. And some of the people have called to thank me that they've seen. They did not remember that I remember what they were saying. Back then. So it's extremely important that we are careful about our words and how we build up the girl child around us. The theme for this year is vision for the future. And BC started by talking about the fact that we are in the era of the feminine, which means that we need to we need to prepare our boys to deal with the empowered girl. Yes. We need to empower our boys to deal with women taking the stage.
Exactly.
We need to empower our boys to understand the fact that a woman talking, like I've had a conversation, and the husband was, after we finished the meeting and we left, we were guests in the house. The husband called the wife and said she was talking too much during that, when she was hosting the event. That you were talking too much. Why were you talking like that? You're not making it look like I don't know much about politics. Because the girl was very, the wife was very vocal and vast with politics, and the man felt inferior. So he called her, and since then they've not really had a get together like that again. And when I asked, I was like, Oga said, I say, wow, we need to raise the boy child to appreciate the girl child, because this is the vision for the future. What are the vision you see for your girls, for the girls around you, for upcoming girls? How do you see them shaping the future positively?
So first of all, I'm afraid that we're not giving as much attention to the boys as we're giving to the girls. And I understand that we came from a collective of pain for women, and that has driven most of the projects that we do to empower the girl child and all that. We're empowering them. We're going full speed on them. We're slightly forgetting the boys, because the girls will go into the society and still meet these boys as men. Exactly. And then that's why you have issues of a man feeling inferior. I've also heard of a case where a man said, instead of his wife to earn more than him, he will buy her. Yes. That's how bad it can be and how intense. And then we come from a climate where we have to play around the ego of the man, pet him so that he doesn't feel inferior and all of that. So we're neglecting gradually the boys. And that is where we need a balance. So we're not stopping the projects we have for women. We're not stopping them, because the girl child is actually exceptional in a way that the fact that we're nurturers, whatever you give to us is what we press down, shake it together, and it will run over. So you give us seed, we give you a tree. You give us a house, we give you a home. You know, we have that multiplier effect. And while we are multiplying the seeds that the men will give to us, the men also need to be strong to understand that it doesn't matter if you're multiplying it, you're there to complement me, we are working together. So it's not a competition. Okay, have a call.
Yeah, so let me take Vivian from Ajegule. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning, Doctor. I'm actually calling because of you and BC. You're looking so mwah.
Oh, thank you.
So beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And BC, you're looking at him in one day.
I told her too. She has some business meetings
with
today.
My Jane? This is Jane, man.
I know, his combination.
Okay.
But he's looking Monday-ish, but he's looking beautiful.
Thank you.
You guys are doing great. It's a girls, what do you call it?
Girl Child Day.
Girl Child Day.
Okay, we are coming up actually. Girls are doing great. Well done.
Thank you.
Ramatu and the fair lady.
Amaka. Yes.
Yes, and Ramatu.
Got her name. Yeah, she called Ramatu.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vivian. Vivian is calling to celebrate us on the show.
Yes, thank you.
Vivian.
Thank you.
Oh,
yeah.
And you see, women balance it.
Yes.
And then,
Yes.
So let me just wrap up so that the other ladies can speak. So, so the vision is for us not to lose focus that we're dealing with the two genders, the two polarity, try as much as possible to balance it. Now, for climes where they are still struggling, there are some villages that are still struggling to even accept the fact that women should, you know, have a say or anything. We press down on those. And for those who have accepted that the girl child should be educated, they should have equal rights and all of that, we also find a way to lift up the boy child alongside so that it becomes a balance. And that means that it's not just the women that will be pioneering this. The men would also support, because I do not see a lot of, you know, men standing to support what the women are doing. So we need more men who are pro-women to come out, be at the forefront to say, this is the vision that we have. At some point, a woman can be the president of the country, a woman who has showed skill, who has showed, intelligence, who has capacity. Why not? Because she's a woman. She should be given that sort of support that they give to the men who aspire for that.
Exactly.
Okay, so I think that we are not having enough healthy conversations when it comes to the male, the boy and the girl child, especially with that phrase where they say what a man can do, a woman can do better. I find that phrase I don't like that phrase. Why? Because men have their role in society, and women, we have our role in society. And the girl child needs to be brought up to understand that we all, like, as in, it's not a competition. Yeah. It's not an unhealthy competition where you're trying to fight. And so when you have a man or there's a boy child, everybody plays a role, but then everybody is given the same platform to perform, to show capacity, right? I noticed something in the corporate world where when women are given compliments at work, you know, I did that. I was a victim of that for so long. I would downplay.
You deflect.
I'll deflect. I'll downplay it. I'll deflect it. Like I said, when you say, oh, Amaka, I did so great on this project, everything, I was just like, I said, no, it's not just me. It's not like that. I worked with so many. Not really. I should have done. But a guy would take charge and say, yes. A guy will even ask you, like, what do you think I did? How do you, like, you know, he will puff up. One me, I'll be asking, so are you sure? Where did I go wrong? Are you sure I can do better? They've given you compliments. Only take it now. It's like, as this is, I turned 40, like everything is like, like, I've always had self-confidence. I've always known myself. But now it's like double. But I'm not trying to be a man. I don't want to be a man. I want to be my feminine, you know, baby girl, soft era. I want my man. I want my man to carry me like, take care of me, pets me. You know, I said I cried yesterday. I want them to be running kitty, kitty, kata, kata, kata. I should not be crying.
Amaka, you know when I saw you this morning, you just said baby girl because we know you that you're a baby girl.
Yeah. So in things like, those conversations, healthy conversations should be had. And I also think that because women are now doing so much and taking care of themselves and the home so much more now than the man, you know, it's causing that friction. So healthy conversations should be had so that there can be a balance and mutual respect.
Fantastic. Let's take a call. We have Ibrahim on the phone. Welcome to the show. Calling from Kaduna.
Good morning to you guys, to you ladies there, and good morning to everyone as well as the listener. The name remains Ibrahim Idris. In fact, I must first of all give you people a very highly respected greeting, which is what? Assalamu alaikum.
Oh, thank you.
We from the north have seen this as a word, as a challenge. And for bringing out this very quite interesting topic this morning, I must really participate. That was what I'm doing.
Thank you.
One of these things that people are doing in the South here is not really inclining to we the North. You know, from the beginning, due to some reason, a female child has been degraded to some extent. Maybe such as religion, culturally, socially, and otherwise. That is one of those things. And the factor, now that people are starting raising out this thing, in fact, you are really a dear mother to us. Me, I'm quite interested to see both race as important. Because why? Even in the scripture of Islam, there is an hadith of the Prophet that said that you must take care of the girl child, even more than the boy. Wow. Don't look at them or look at them downward. The only thing that for you to earn your paradise, you must give them this tangible education, religiously, socially, and morally. And finally, if you have the means, you can also marry them out. By so doing, you as a man, you will earn your paradise, which is Al-Jannah. That's the way.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ibrahim. Thank you for calling in to the show. Obviously, they're not celebrating. People don't celebrate girl child day in the north or what?
Oh, well, I think we do, but I'll just use this platform to play to the Northerners because, of course, we are the ones that, when it comes to all this girl child education, we're kind of, let's say in percentage, let's say we're around 70% when it comes to education for a girl child. And most of the time, you know, most of our women don't work. Is because most of the men feel intimidated when women work. This is just a plea that men, allow your women to work. It's not competition. They are not going to come and compete with you. It's to even help the family. If a woman is educated, it's like you are educated. It's like the whole community, the whole society is educated as well because everybody will improve in their way of life, in everything generally. There was this woman that came out and she said the husband, she started working, she was earning her money, and the husband came out and said that, you know, they promoted her in her place of work. He came and he said, it's either she continues with the job or she leaves the marriage. And she chose the marriage. She was like, no, she can't leave her job. And she was like, she's not going to get married, she's going to move out because of the job, and because of the job and all. And then later on, he had to, after some time, he had to bring her back. She was like, this is what she earns. It's not everything that you go and meet the husband to ask him for. Sometimes you want to take care of some certain things for yourself. You want to earn your money. And it's not just all about earning money. Sometimes when you work, you get exposed. You know, you get to learn new things. You get to meet new people and everything. And that will also help the woman improve in her own life, generally, internally. And she'll be able to give you her best. So I plead with the men, the northern men, allow your women work. See, that is business. Allow them to do business. Some men don't allow their
corporate world.
Yeah, they don't allow their women to work. They say, no, you can't do anything. I know of a man who, the wife knows how to make hair. He said, no, she should never make hair. If she makes hair, that's the end of the marriage. They always do threaten that way. But this is just not, it's not because of, it's not like they want to come and start competing with your space, or it's going to make you less of a man if you allow them to work. If you allow them to work, they will come out as best wives to you people, and they will treat you well.
Fantastic. And that brings me to, as we round off this segment of the show, it brings me to what Amaka said, that an oppressed woman cannot raise a free, wholesome human being. So we cannot, you don't get anything as a man from oppressing the girl child. And I love what Bisi said, we shouldn't lose focus on raising our boys. We should take care of our boys. It's important that we should give women the stage. I love that. And as we're talking about the vision for the future for the girls, I think it's also very important that, I'm quoting a lot of what you said today, so my spirit is linking with you. About let's raise girls to be girls. Making a strong girl does not become a boy. A strong girl can be a girl, should be a girl. Being a girl should not mean weakness. The vision for the future for me is that being a girl child is not a weakness. Being a girl child is not oppression. Being a girl child, you can be a baby girl and still be strong. Yes. And on that note, we'll come to the end of this segment. Of course, you can still celebrate your girls anyhow you want this weekend. When we take a break, we return, we'll continue with the show. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. So the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has a new visa requirement that ignited controversies. The requirement, according to the NDLEA's Director of Media, Femi Babafemi, has been in existence for over 24 years. It states that married women must bring a letter of approval to travel from their husband with his passport photograph attached. However, there's an update. The reported update is that the NDLEA Director of Media and Advocacy has come out to say that the requirement for the married women to present approval from their husband for international travel has been removed. This was because of the outrage of Nigerians over the NDLEA's rule requiring married women to provide proof of spousal consent, including photographs. So join the conversation, because what we know that they've agreed to our, when we gave it to them, they responded adequately by taking in the pulse of the people, which is good leadership. However, the thought that it had been in existence for 24 years is what we are discussing. So you join the conversation by calling us on the numbers on your screen, which is 0810-764-1679, or you can tweet to us on X, #GOTVC, or comment on YouTube. Why exactly would a government, for the past 24 years, have created a system where a married woman has to get approval of the spouse with a passport photograph? Who came up with that in the first place?
Simple patriarchy. That's what we say in patriarchy. Like, I think about 3 months ago, I know I raised that issue with Morayo. We're supposed to have that conversation on air, but I don't know what happened. A friend of mine was traveling. She was traveling with her 2 kids, and she was going to meet her husband somewhere. So by the time she got to the airport, they were asking her for consent letter from her husband. This international, Murtala Mohammed International Airport here, from her husband. And the husband was not available. And she was like, why? My husband has traveled with these kids before. He didn't call me for consent letter as the mother. Why are you people asking me for? They say you are not going anywhere, madam. I have seen something in this place. That's how you women will come and carry children and be running away, blah, 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 blah. I'm not even kidding. So she had to put a call through to the husband who was in another country. Fortunately for her, the man had to step out of a meeting to answer the call and then spoke to the officers to say, please, this is my wife. They are coming to meet me in this country. Please allow them pass. When she told me, I was like, what? So I told Mariah immediately, and we're like, let's get the details. And I think we lost that in the midst of all the frenzy. But this goes to show you how, for a very long time, the patriarchy has not given enough respect, enough regard to the entity woman. Once you're a woman, you are seen as inferior. We married together. Fine, they are your children. They are my children too. Your seed is my egg. You planted the seed, me, I gave you egg to flourish it, and I nourish it. Why are you asking me at the point of, and even if I want to run away with the children, they are my children as well. No, they are even, it's not even your business. It's not even your business in the first place. Let the man take me to court and then handle the issue. Why are you stopping me at the point of, travel to say I have to get consent? Somebody said one time that a woman has no place because from your father's name to your husband's name, if you don't have husband name to answer, you are seen as incomplete. And that's the problem. So I'm happy that they quickly, went back and changed. But it's been there for a long time, and people have not really been coming out to complain about it. But in 2024, I think they should do better. I think patriarchy should step down. The life is for you and me. Nobody is more superior to another human being. As long as we are human beings here, we have a full-blown soul, we have a full-blown spirit, we're equal. If I marry you, we are like in my husband's house now, I understand that he's my head. He's the only person that is my head. The boss in
the man in the bus
is not my head. The Okada rider that takes me around is not my head. The cameraman standing there is not my head. It's only my husband that's my head. So if I go out of my home and I have interactions with you, don't see me as inferior. I am a human being and I have a right to my children. Yes. I better too.
Yeah, so to her story, yes, it happened to one of my friends as well. They went to the airport, but she had, she didn't change her maiden name. She was still using her name.
Okay.
Yeah, she was still using her name. She didn't change her name to her husband's name. So when she got to the airport, they refused to allow her to travel with the kids. The husband even sent a consent letter to them that, okay, these are his kids and all of that. But still, because her name was different, they were like, no, they don't believe that that's her husband. And so they are not going to allow her to travel. She didn't travel, though. In fact, they spent more than a week trying to resolve this. Because her own name, everything, it was terrible. They refused to allow her travel until she was able to, she had to quickly go, start trying to change her name to, all those kind of... I'm telling you, it was so complicated. It was so complicated. And I'm happy that at least now that
birth certificate carries name of father and mother now.
Yeah, you know, in my religion, it's not compulsory for you to change your name to your husband.
Yes, no, but like if your birth certificate can carry, if you can submit birth certificate, but it's the idea of going to go now look for birth certificate,
all those things. So you know, all this was just complicated, but last they were able to resolve, and then you know, now she's back. When she came back, she had to now do that newspaper stuff to change her name to her husband's name because of things like this, so that it won't happen again.
Wow.
So immediately I saw that story, I was like, oh, this is the job of the Minister of Women Affairs. It's time for her to come out now.
Yes, this is shut it down.
This is where we need
Yes, this is where we want to hear her voice. She should come out and fight for women at least and let women be. Because there are some women that maybe they are divorced from their husbands and they still have that.
The man is no longer taking care of
not taking care of them.
So I cannot travel with.
And they still have the husband's name with them. So will you tell me that when you get that one that will not answer you? If you know, understand, maybe I'm not talking to my husband again.
You know,
then
I actually,
or I remarry. What happened?
If I want to punish
even
my
met
wife.
someone, we were having a retreat and a woman was talking about how the fact that she hasn't spoken to her husband in 6 months. The man blocked her number for over a year. She's living in the house. The man left for over 6 months. Hasn't spoken to her, blocked her number, blocked her phone. If she was supposed to travel, how would she be able to go?
No.
Yes.
And it was intentional.
Then when they call him, he will not pick. Even if he picks, he says, stop there. Just to punish her.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there are many scenarios that we need to consider.
So I can't believe that in 2024, a married woman is, we're still discussing this, and a married woman is being likened to a minor, a child. Hey, it is Bali. It is sad. So what means we are better off now, your married ones?
My sister.
But yeah. I don't know, I have superiority over you, baby girl. So yeah, it is really sad. So are you trying to say that a woman doesn't have a right to divorce, to change her name from her husband's name to another man's, to another husband in case she remarries, or to retain her son name? I have the right to retain. I'll always bear my name. I've borne my own son name till I've established everything in that name. I'm not going to let go of that name because I'm getting married. That name would always be part of me. So someone is trying to say, I can't move around with my kids. That's unfortunate. I can't believe that this is where we are. Like you said, this is the time for... But he can move. And you know, the same...
fairness.
See, I wouldn't mind if NDLA, they came up with the fact that, okay, woman cannot leave, a married woman cannot live without the consent of her husband, and a man too cannot live without the consent of the partner, so that we need to be balanced, and we're trying to fight people running away with kids.
Be their business.
But it shouldn't be their... No, I'm not trying to say it shouldn't be their business in the first place, but let's just say they decide to make it their business. It should be balanced. So like you talked about, this is still patriarchy in 2024, and it's totally unacceptable. And NDLEA should have all the backlash.
But they responded.
I don't even care that they responded.
Yes,
you find the drugs. They should focus on what they are focused on, and not nonsense. And I hope that of Women Affairs, that they tackle this issue.
For them to think of it.
Is it just responding? There should be an apology on women.
We just had to just vent small on the matter. When we come back, we're going to be discussing how this also plays out with landlords. You know, some landlords will say, I'm not going to rent out my house to single women unless your parents are signing with you, or you have a husband, or your husband shows up thereabout. We'll discuss that and much more when we return from the break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. So we're still celebrating International Girl Child Day and sort of finding ourselves discussing some of the things that we've normalized within Nigeria but are oppressive to the girl child and to women generally. So the NDLA was just one of it, and thankfully it has been repealed. But there are many other things that are being done that are seen as normal things. You know, you want to rent a house in Nigeria and a landlord is telling you that, are you a single? Are you married? Are you in a serious relationship? And they're asking questions that are not pertaining to your ability to pay rent. And in some cases, you have to show up with your parents to back you up. How does that make you feel as, okay, now, Amaka is single, and I'm sure you've encountered this in one way or the other. How did you deal with it?
Fortunately, unfortunately, maybe because I'm a lawyer, so nobody wants my problem. Like, right, yes, in those things, like, because like you're renting shop, you know, and stuff like that. So maybe when they see that you're a lawyer, everybody somehow conforms. So maybe I've had people that I've gone through that, but I never went through that. Yes. You know, people that encountered that, and I really want that, like, they say, okay, then they will ask them that if you don't have a husband or a man, or that you're single, they don't want you to be having different, one of the ladies says having different visitors, having different one, they're like, what's your business? So they now told the person that they should get a letter from their lawyer. So the person actually came to me to co-sign. So I had to co-sign. It was a friend of mine. I had to co-sign her lease, yes, on a property. And I didn't find it funny. It didn't make sense. I was really upset about it. And I asked, I said, are you sure you really want to live here? Because, like,
they will likely frustrate you.
Yeah, they will likely frustrate you. And it's his house. So we need to come up with options where even the government, local governments, the government
create laws to protect against this kind of discrimination.
Against this kind of discrimination, especially for women, to protect the woman child. Because today we're all about the woman child, right? Yes, the girl child. So the landlord has a right to do whatever he wants to do. It's his house. So you have an option or a choice to want to stay there, to take that kind of abuse. Someone like me, I would not want to stay in that kind of space, in that sort of place. But then she chose to, and I co-signed, you know, the lease for her. But the local government, the government has to place certain things, you know, that would not allow people to do that. Because this is subjugation. Like, how dare you? The person is human first. The person can pay the rent. The person is, this is a big person, though. This is a big woman that this can happen to. Yes, and it's sad. I really
talk of small women.
Not to talk of it. Yeah, it's sad.
So, I think, first of all, we have to look at the mindset of men. And that's where the root cause is. I know that this is me now from the general perspective. Before they say I'm generalizing, but you generalize when there's a majority in terms of statistics. So a man out there sees a woman who is not married as that's the mindset. That's what you do, yes. So you get to a certain age, you get to a certain age and you're not married, and men have interactions with you. They assume that for you not to be in your husband's house, you are trading your body. So this also comes down to the landlord, assuming that at this age you're not married and you're working and you're able to pay this rent. First of all, they don't even believe that is a work that is making you be able to pay the rent. They see you like you're doing extra things.
So they want to meet the sponsor.
Good. That's it. And so they ask that a man must be present before they give you a place. So when I moved and, you know, we had to rent out our apartment, the person who was handling the house for us also had these concerns. He would not give a house to a woman. And when I asked, the answer is they bring so many men. He's had experiences of this, as this man is leaving, another man is coming. My house becomes...
You ask men. Do they ask men the same?
Cello. As this one is leaving, another one is coming. There are men trooping in and out and all of that. And I now said, but should that be your business? Are they sleeping over? It's not your business. Now, one of the guys that he gave a place was, his stock in trade was carrying women. And every day gate is opening, different women coming in, different slippers, different high heels, you know. But that was not a concern for him because he was a man. So that's how we have excused the bad behavior of men because they are men. But when it comes to the woman, whether you've seen bad behavior or not, you just assume that for you to be this age and you do not have, this is your stock in trade.
Yes.
So if we start by changing the mindset, and sometimes when it comes to their own daughters, they have a different approach. They don't see their own daughters as other women. They want you to make exceptions for their own daughters. And that's how I used to hold my father back in the day. I would say, Daddy, put me in that lady's shoe. If I was the one, would you have done this? And he would now keep quiet. Because they don't process like that.
Exactly.
So we need to begin to have conversations to change the mindset. A woman is a human being, a complete human being. She has a right to her life. If she says, except of course you don't want your gates to be opening up and down, but why should that even be your business in the first place? You're not living in the compound. Are they spoiling the roof? Are they spoiling the building? Are they constituting a nuisance? Because at the end of the day, we end up getting yahoo people in the company. And he nearly ran mad. Till he drove them. Party every time, compound messed up.
You were a dodgy girl.
Wouldn't it have been better that we took a girl into the compound?
So I actually brought up this topic because Adeni Toyin posted it on as a comment on our YouTube page that she's experienced it so many times. Said this landlord thing has happened to me too many times. It's crazy. The only reason I finally got a place is because I am a civil servant, so I have a steady income and I will not owe. That was how she was able to get it. But I want to ask you about the northern part of Nigeria, because we in the south might not know entirely what happens there. But the things we've heard will be like, a single girl cannot just go in Kano now and say, I want to go and rent a house. I'm moving out. I want to move closer to my office. And then you rent a house. Is it normal?
It's not really normal, because even it was when I came to Lagos that I would see a block of 6, block of 7. Most times, most of our homes, we have land. So we have standalone homes most times. So we don't even know what's happening in the next compound. We don't know what's happening, anywhere else. And also, we stay on our own. We don't really, and most of our homes are mostly, like some in the remote areas, they have a lot of bad sugar. So don't come in. Only women are in there. So if a man is coming in, a man can't come in, he has to stay outside. So you go out and so if you're a single woman, you can still stay with your parents' house compulsorily before you.
Wow.
What a wahoo.
As in, because for me, I feel that when we have these conversations and we do not pressure the government to make a decision, it's incomplete. So I was talking with my HR consultant yesterday. They came to the office. I mentioned that we're doing hybrid because everybody, the lamentation in my office was a lot, and I just increased. I increased salary. It never reached 3 months, so it's not. I cannot increase salary again. And I was talking about hybrid work. I was talking about maternity leave, and I was giving my own opinion. And they said, "Madam, your opinion does not count. The Nigerian labor law has said ABC. You have to comply by the Nigerian labor law. Else, your staff can sue you for all of these things you are doing. If you say this is your policy, that the government does not care whether you run a small man business or not, as long as you are employing people and you are giving them this thing. We need to have that same kind of policy.
Exactly.
So that a landlord cannot say it's my house. I was saying it's my office. How can I pay? I have women in my office and they're about to get married. I have 2 people getting married this year, which means maternity leave can happen next year. And I was like, if you go maternity leave, I cannot pay. They say, no, you cannot say you will not pay. You must pay. Because you have employed them. That's the Nigerian labor law. So whether it is my company or not, I must conform with the Nigerian labor law. A landlord cannot say, I am a landlord, it's my house. Whatever I want to do, I will do, because you are in Nigeria. Your house is in Nigeria. You must comply by the laws of the land. But how has the law protected the girl child? How can the law protect the girl child more? How do we ensure that our women are not getting abused in the line of trying to get a house or get a job, or the assumption of if you see a woman in a big car, is a man that bought it for her.
No matter how hard you're working. Even now,
everything must be sponsored.
It's the man that bought it.
Yes, now.
Or the assumption that I'm running the real estate company, they say, oh, so you mean you're running the company with your husband? Oh, you mean your husband is
always an assumption.
CEO, and your husband...
a woman gets promoted in the place of work. She slept her way through.
So usually, because I'm someone like, I always say that, like, I don't really like to, I don't go out on dates because I just feel like, oh, it's a waste of my time and blah, blah. So anyways, recently I went out on the date. And then do you know what the guy said to me? And this is someone that's supposed to be enlightened, that is just somewhere like up there in the corporate world, and he said, oh, you're so beautiful and everything, that you look like a kept woman.
And keep him.
And then keep him. And then I looked at it. For me, that statement alone, everything just is like I'm just wondering. Like I said, what sort of mentality is that? I said, excuse you, like.
Do you know how many things I'm doing?
Excuse you. Do you know how many jobs I have? Do you know what I'm doing? Do you know what my net worth? We're not trying to blow trumpet, but are you kidding me? I have to be kept to look this good? Whoa.
Wow. We have a phone call. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Hello, Tope.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Jimoke.
Yeah, please. I'm happy with this topic you're discussing this morning. And in addition to what you're saying, I want you to look into the civil service too. If you choose not to change your name as a married woman, yes, you are forced to change your name or remain single. As in, if you are a staff of a civil service, especially in Lagos State, and you say that you're married, but you want to keep your father's name, they tell you can't be your father's name as a married woman. It's either you say you're single or
you're married.
You change your name, and so you don't have a choice to keep your father's name as a married woman in Lagos State Civil Service. My doctor at Ayinke Hospital had to keep our father's name and remain single, even as a married woman, because of this law.
Wow.
There are a lot of all these problems in civil service. And even that thing you talk about the lady that was not allowed to travel. Remember that was what happened to Davido and his baby mama too. He was held, I think, in both ways. The man has to get a consent, the woman has to get a consent before you can travel with your children. But really...
Thank you so much, Jimoke. We'll talk more about this when we return from the break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Yes, we're still celebrating the International Day of the Girl Child, and the last caller, Jimoke, dropped a bombshell that is extremely shocking. That in a state of excellence, how do we call Lagos State? In a state as enlightened as Lagos State, a state as established as Lagos State. You know, Lagos State always be like, well, the example, everybody else is following.
Everybody's trying to copy.
It's extremely shocking to hear that some of these archaic rules are still being implemented, where a woman cannot choose to keep her maiden name because she's gotten married. She has to now remain single because she wants to keep her maiden name. She cannot change her status to married and still keep her maiden name. I want to believe it is not true. So maybe somebody in Lagos State, I know they watch us in the government house, can call us to tell us that no, it's true, it's not true, or what can be done about it. But it's very, very surprising. And I would like more calls to come in to tell us about their personal experiences, or tweet to us, or send a message to detail what you've gone through as a girl child, as a woman, and how we can enlighten the government to, you know, block these gaps. I've not heard from...
Yeah, so concerning the landlord, if they can talk to landlords. I think there was a time that Fashola was talking about this tenancy, wherever.
Yeah, that you can only pay per year or even pay per month.
So I'm sure they have an association. They should be able to enlighten them and talk to them to, you know, when it comes to things like that, they should really come down. They should just be bothered about the rent being paid.
Yes.
And maybe their property handled properly. And all. That should be their concern. Exactly. But who comes in and goes out, I don't think it's the landlord's business.
Let me
the
take
person doesn't pay,
Ojota, then we'll come back to other angles with which we can do better. Welcome to the show, Chizoba.
Yeah, good morning.
Oh, I thought it was a lady. All right. What's your goodwill message for us?
The name is for women and the men. Yeah. So, I greet you all and my sisters there. You know, this problem goes this way. I'm a victim of it also. My wife is a career lady. So it happened that when we got married, she now called me and said, changing this name will make me lost a lot. I said, explain. She explained to me. Me, I'm a kind of person, if you tell me what I need to hear, my ears are open. I will make sure I follow your rules. And I would not I would not like seeing my wife losing her integrity, the things she has gotten before she knows me. I would not love it to happen that way. I would not like to hear it. So I now buy with the ideas. But all these things you people are telling me, I am seeing it that the government needs to look into this. Yeah. What of those people that are divorced, their husband? So they cannot do any other thing. They cannot help themselves. Maybe they are with their kids. They cannot do something important with their life just because of one problem or the other. Being with the father's name, the people know that where they married a woman from, know that this woman is legally married. Being this name of a thing now stops somebody to travel. I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
Thank you so much. So imagine, even with passports, if you say you are married in the passport, you need to fill your maiden name.
Yes.
And then fill your married name. So if your maiden name is the name you are still holding on to,
you say no. Yeah. So the problem is, fine, we have patriarchy, but unfortunately for us, the enforcers of patriarchy are the women.
Really?
Yes. We need to talk about our laws about
yes,
we enable a lot.
We are the ones enabling patriarchy. Because if women at positions of, authority see this on their table and say, no, strike this out, doesn't make sense, nobody will question them. Sometimes when men make decisions, they just run with it when there's nobody there to question because they are not looking at it holistically, right? And then you carry it, instead of looking at it holistically and putting yourself in those shoes, you enforce it because a man has said it. If women from the days of old had stood, they were strong women, they were pillars in the society. If they had stood to say, this is not what we're going to accept for our sister, this is not going to happen, a lot of things would have changed. But what do? We laugh at those people because we have escaped where they are or what they are going through. We laugh at them. We make it more difficult for them. We are our problem.
Let me take Eric from Port Harcourt. Eric.
So you know why I was adding this? The few times that there was a story, a lady told me that they were questioning about this, why did you not change? So she was traveling with her kids and she did not change her name to her husband's name. So the kids bore a different name and she has a different name. And the women at the airport were questioning her, why? What nonsense?
Like you are more important.
What exactly? Why did you not take? Why did you not take? The men did not say anything. The women were doing the job. Why did you not take? So what's the meaning of this now? What's the meaning of this? You're not ashamed of yourself. Yes. You're bearing a different name, and your children are bearing a different name. Blah 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 blah. So we need to start looking inwards and asking ourselves, how have we enabled this for our daughters? Because even if you have escaped it, your daughter may not escape it. Your granddaughter may not escape it. We need to begin to change, and that's where systems are very important. Like you rightly said. We need to get the government involved. Unfortunately, people making the laws in the government are still the men. Yes. So we need more representation as women.
Exactly.
So that we can say it from where it is pinching us.
Yes. All right, let me take this call. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Francis. I'm calling from Onitsha, Anambra State.
Wow. Francis, welcome.
Welcome, Francis.
Thank you. It's my first time of calling you.
Yay. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'd like to appreciate my two sisters there.
Your two sisters from the
Good morning.
East.
Oh, morning.
Don't worry, we understand.
Set you back.
Thank you so much.
Good morning.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
All right. Quickly, I want to speak on two things. I actually appreciate the program we are doing today. I appreciate the girl child. I grew up not having a girl sister. But now I have 4 girl children.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I really appreciate God for that.
Oh.
And they're doing great.
Thank you.
But there are 2 places I'd like us to speak on, please. We need to make research about, like there's a case that was raised about the man who locked up a woman and stopped her from accessing her, getting him. There is no smoke without fire. Let's understand that some things that happen in the society, there are reasons. There is also a reason why a landlord would like to know before giving out his property to a lady. We should also make research on that. Are there places women are also selling? Do you understand? Finally, we should also speak about the way our ladies are dressing. They are not dressing to represent you very well. Look at the way you have beautifully dressed yourself. But some of the ladies in the society, they don't represent women very fine again. So research and watching out on the dressing is very important. A very important point I'd like us to discuss on today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Francis. I will not disagree with the importance of dressing appropriately, dressing etiquette, dressing, dress the way you want to be addressed. And thank God you have girls and you are raising your children, because this starts from parenting, it starts from the family. However, one of the things I'll say is it is not the job of any man on the street to correct somebody's dressing. Exactly. It is the job of the law enforcement and police to call people to order. What we've seen is people, we now have like social justice, jungle justice, pulling girls, nakeding girls, stripping girls naked as a way to deter other girls from dressing inappropriately. It's not your job. Yes. Your job is to tell the police or tell someone or tell the police to correct that situation. Neither should a girl be abused because of the way she's dressed. So yes, we'll work on our girls, but we should also ensure that we don't take justice into our hands in a way of dealing with the situation. So Amaka, the current head of service, Didi Esther Walson Jack, she is a lawyer, she's a high-ranking, she was appointed, and this is not the first time we're having, I think she's the first female head of service, but we've had a female head of service in Lagos as well. And when you were talking about the fact that women are also part of the enforcers, it came to me that, it's true, head of service is a woman. This is the time to change any policy.
That doesn't work for your girls.
You understand? And, you know, like when we're talking about the girl child, I talked about politically that, you know, the doors are opening up. And then, you know, most times women don't want to go, a lot of women don't want to go into politics. They have a lot to say, but they don't want to go into politics because of the rofo and the whole, you know, the whole dragging and how they feel like you have to go low, you know, to be in politics. But I don't think that's the case. I think women need to band together. Women need to be in politics more, because if you're not in the place of authority, then you can't enforce change, right? So yes, we need to do that to protect the woman.
All right, let me take this call from Oluwaseun. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning, ladies. Good morning. God bless you together. We're really enjoying the program.
Thank you.
And we thank God for these ideas and these contributions. I also want to go in the direction the last speaker just talked about. We love our ladies, we love our wives, we love our mothers. They are very important to our lives. They keep us moving. They challenge us at times. And they pray for us. They are very important. But I want to tell you that, especially in Lagos, there was a time Fashola came up with a law that tenancy increment, this, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, it didn't work. Sometimes you get a landlord is going to tell you that, I'm sorry, it's not government that built my house for me. The rates of this have increased, so my rent has also increased. I want to tell you my office, they increased my rent this October by 100%. I'm telling you, in Empire Ojeleba, they increased my rent by 100%. So who do I run to? So when we talk about girls' child, I think by virtue of experiences of landlords and landladies, that's why you have all this caution, find out why a woman is coming to rent apartment, find out why it must be a woman. In Agudasule, a lot of them you see, we don't want Igbo, we don't want Yoruba here, we don't want this, we don't want that. Try it. By virtue of their experiences. I'm telling you. So all we just need to do, look at the redeemed creator of God. If you want to be ordained, a man, if you are a man, your wife must write a letter of consent. If you are a lady, your husband must write a letter of consent.
Fair.
It's both ways.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So, but you know, government sets up all these things. We just need to keep saying it to their ears until it gets corrected.
Thank you so much.
At the same time, we need to be talking to the girls.
All right.
Dress very well. Don't disrespect other women.
Yeah.
Don't disrespect other ladies. So that's not an opportunity for the men.
Thank you, Oluwaseun. This dress matter.
With this dress,
So
dress well, very well. It's not why you
everybody
are pressing us
should be
because
allowed
dress well.
Should be allowed to
but there was something
they
he
want
said
to
that
dress.
is very important. The reason we have laws is to avoid discrimination. People cannot say, because I cannot say that I have employed somebody from this particular part of the country and 2 of them disappointed me, and then I will now place an embargo and I will not employ from that place anymore. That is me judging people.
If it's your small business that you're still managing your life.
We shouldn't judge based on ethnicity or...
Be calming down now. You're running a business and I'm happy. All of us here are entrepreneurs. So if you have had an experience with a particular tribe, they've been showing you shege.
You can be careful.
It means that your destiny and that tribe does not align. You will protect yourself. I don't
understand destiny matter.
There's a particular tribe now that has been showing me shege. I will not enter their trap again. See, this small business, I'm still managing it. I'm still struggling to survive with everything that's happening. You will not come and allow me get my enemy to work with me because of, you're talking about laws.
So in this case
the
now,
systems you're talking about are for well-established
so a landlord can say, I'm not employing somebody from this tribe.
They don't have to say it.
They do it too.
But they can do it.
They do it.
They do it.
They don't have to open your mouth.
It's not fair.
I have a problem with no particular tribe.
No, because I think that people should be judged individually. Based on their actions. It has nothing to do with tribe.
Amaka, when one...
Once beaten, twice shy.
When one particular tribe don't show you shege, Pro Max, back to back to back to back, you be a fool to say because you are Chineke of the universe, you have to be magnet. You will protect yourself. It's how you protect yourself that matters. Because if I don't give you a house, another person will give you a house. Why are you fixated on staying in my own house? Awesome. Which crime did I commit? Did you buy block for me?
So I want to applaud the Redeemed Christian Church of God for their balance. And many churches, many organizations actually are very balanced in how they approach things. And we want the government to do the same. We're having this conversation because we feel like sometimes the government has so many things to deal with and they don't remember these small things. But these small things have huge impact. And we are highlighting it so that they will be able to address them. So if you are asking for consent for letter for a woman to travel with the children, do the same for men as well. If a man is not required to change the name and can apply married, please allow people in the civil service and in corporate organizations not to change their name, but indicate that they are married. Amatu?
So for that, the person that called, I think what he's talking about dressing, why he put the dressing in is that maybe when they go to look for a house, when a single person goes to look for a house, they need to be dressed. They should dress decently. If not, maybe if they go dressed anyhow, there may be a reason why
somebody can look. I mean, somebody can look at you now and say, for a northern woman, you are not dressed decently because they can see your neck.
Your neck,
Because some women, they cover everything.
Exactly.
So decency has different, and the truth is, you see the reason this issue,
some kind of
we cannot
dressing.
find.
We're judgmental. We're judgmental as a people.
Even me, I felt uncomfortable with. There was this person that was a DJ. She wore a net outfit. Did not wear anything on that net, and that means the person was naked upper body and was DJing on social media. And I said, and I was like, is it DJ you are DJing or you are selling market?
Na collabo.
So I just scrolled away. Because that
you did not stay on her page. So
I did not insult. So when you live abroad, all these Nigerian men, I want to appeal to you because all of us are global citizens. You will travel. When I was in New York, what I saw, my mouth cannot say it. I was like, if Nigerian men come to New York, they behave. You will tire to strip naked because you will see things and you will look away.
Because the system
so if you can look away in a developed country, look away here too. Don't worry, we will go back home and train our girls to dress
but we're
better.
Africans now.
Yeah, so let's talk about the idea. Well, since we're discussing girl issues, there's this one that somebody said. One girl wanted to buy a car. She's single. They said she should not buy a car. That if she buys car as a single lady, who will marry her? That single men that do not have car will not be able to approach her because she does not have a car. What say you?
Because we're raising boys to feel girls are inferior. So why are you coming into my space to have more than me? That's where the mentality
Tina from Barua. Tina, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
I've experienced this because I'm a widow. I didn't want to go into all the wala of in-laws problems, so I decided to move away. And the first thing is that the landlord said, you should get one of your in-laws to come and search for you. I said, what? The people that I'm running away from? So, what I did, I had to call my own brother-in-law, my sister's husband. He was the one that now came and signed, and everything. That was how I was able to get the first house I was living in. Because I need to run away from that pressure and that traumatic experience that I was having at that time. So widows too fall victim of this thing because they don't have that want to just be on their own, just to have their own life. So the government, the law, I don't know who will raise this up and help women out. And a lot of men are insecure. They're seeing women that is prospering more than them.
Yeah, they are.
And that is causing problem at home too. And that kind of work we want to separate, but because of what the society, we will stay in a toxic environment, which is affecting affecting the children, especially their sons. Their sons who will still women. That's why the women have to be oppressed and to be suppressed. Good morning, ladies.
Thank you so much, Tina.
Because you have to think about that. If someone is a widow, so you now say because of
the landlord will feel like maybe she cannot sustain the payment of salary of her rent, payment of her rent, and so in protecting their rent to be recurrent, they are making her, because in Tina's personal case, she wanted to leave her in-laws, she wanted sanity, and she had to still go and meet her in-law to help her co-sign to get a house.
So if you were running away from an abusive relationship,
you can't rent a house.
You will not carry them to the place that you are running to.
Because you want to
Because you're supposed to run in secret, maybe just hide somewhere and cool down and take care of your kids, make sure their mental health is okay. You're not going to, because you don't have any other man, you're not going to carry somebody to the place. They now know the place you are running to.
A very high
who protects people.
Politician died 3 months ago, and in 1 week after his death, his house was emptied by his family members. His wife was left alone. His wife was like, when I say empty the house, I mean TV, mattress, had children.
How did they have access?
Wow.
They broke the gate and entered the house. And she's mourning. And so they emptied the house in Lagos, emptied the house in Abuja, emptied. And the woman just had to carry herself and her children and travel. And that's because she had visa and she can afford tickets. But the point is, she wasn't working even while she was being married, because her husband, the man, is a high ranking, is wealthy, and the family emptied both houses. These things still happen. So when we celebrate the girl child, the young girls that were doing they spoke from Corona, said that they want a future that would accept them. And the vision for the future is a vision that protects the girls when they become adults, where if life happens to them, the society does not oppress them because life has happened to them more, but the society protects them. So if somebody is a widow, she's protected. If somebody is single, she's protected. If somebody is living an abusive relationship, she's protected. Being a girl does not mean that you are a second-class citizen in Nigeria. So
should be protected generally.
Yes.
So let me just add something. For all the people who are saying maybe I'm stereotyping by saying if a particular tribe hurts you and you do not, employ them, is stereotyping. A country like Dubai banned us for what? Because we went there to misbehave. Do you call them stereotyping? When you are in your space, whether you call them or not, they had to make the decision that will serve them.
And now that they open based on the conditions.
Based on the condition that will serve them. So if the only thing the government can say is, we're going to ensure that you are not disenfranchised by your gender. Every other thing is at the discretion of the person who puts the block there, because government did not give me money to buy block in the first place. Have I responded to you?
And then finally, I want to say that, please, I hope the Ministry of Women Affairs, that they are doing much more in 2024 to protect the girl child, to put certain things, to take certain points that people don't even know about, like the public service and stuff, to make sure that these things don't happen. Women, we're humans, we have a choice. We have a right to our choices.
Right to live.
Find out.
Yeah, so let's just support and protect women generally. It doesn't matter where they are from or anything, just protect women generally.
On a lighter note, Mariah sent a message that as a single girl, she was driving a Prado, brand new Prado, as a single girl, and she was flying around the world, and she still got married. There's even marriage and children that made her even calm down small. So you get ready to see more of flying around the world for her. So in conclusion, today we're celebrating the girl child. We like every man celebrates a girl around you, and a girl is from 0 to 100. Celebrate all the girls around you. There were some things that was mentioned. Amatu mentioned sanitary hygiene. Getting a pad is very expensive. And we cannot celebrate Girl Child Day and not talk about the importance of making affordable sanitary towels. So if the government, if there's partnerships to help provide this thing in a more subsidized rate, because some girls don't go to school during their period because they cannot afford a sanitary towel. These are things that should not be heard of anymore in this day and age. So we're going to appeal to Barrister Uju Kennedy, appeal to our minister, our head of service to help push the policies that would protect the girl child in Nigeria more. That's what we can take on the show today. Of course, you'll be seeing Obiajulu blowing pidgin for you tomorrow.
That's it.
And the ladies
see you guys tomorrow.
ladies of your view pidgin tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.